Hi, seventh graders. This is Mrs. Zarelli, one of the seventh grade ELA teachers at Derby. And I want to welcome you to week 2 of your ELA activities. So this week, I'm going to be going over your movie review challenge and talking you through the directions and how everything's going to work for this particular challenge. So we know that you have a little bit more time at home these days, possibly watching a little bit more TV. So we wanted to incorporate something that you're probably already doing in with a challenge that you can do from home. So with the movie review challenge, what you're going to notice at the first slide is that we've given you all of the directions right on this slide. So obviously, you're going to choose a movie that is appropriate for school to be writing about. We would definitely like you to consider maybe watching a mystery, since we were all in the middle of our mystery unit before we left. We might encourage you to find a mystery movie that you have wanted to see, or now that you know some of the famous mystery writers like Agatha Christie, you might choose a mystery movie that she has written. However, any movie is really free game as long as it is appropriate to write about for school. You're also going to complete a pre-writing sheet, take a look at some other movie reviews that have been written, and then you'll have a graphic organizer that will help you write your movie review after you're done. So let's take a look at some of the other details of this assignment. As you scroll down underneath the directions, what you will see are 3 websites for current movie reviews. So what I would encourage you to do is to take a look at each of these sites, and as you read over some of the reviews, be sure to notice what things are included in these reviews and how the writer shares the plot and the characters of the story without giving too much away, but also being critical of what they noticed in the film. Now remember, back earlier in the year, we did study drama versus film, and we noticed how things can be done in a film that may not have been able to be done in a play. So I also want you to consider, remember those things that we discussed and what can be done in terms of special effects and things like that as you're reading through some of these reviews. So you've got movie reviews through Roger Ebert. You'll notice here that you can even type in a movie and the release date, and it will give you a number of different types of movies that you can click on. As you click on each of these, you'll notice that there are star ratings, and they talk about the particular movie and the characters and the people that play these characters. So be sure to read over a couple of these. The second website is Rotten Tomatoes. So be sure to check through here. The top streaming movies are listed here. So perhaps you want to go in and take a look at some that were rated well and some that were maybe not rated as well to see what people were saying and how they talked about these particular movies. So you can scroll down and read the movie information here as well. And then the last site is right here. It's called Cinema Blend, and you can go through and take a look. Notice the titles, and the way that they title these particular reviews might give you an indication of how they were rated. So all of that should kind of be done before you start watching your own film, just so you have an idea of what you're going to want to be writing when you're done. So do this first before you choose your particular movie. Then, either as you're watching your film or right after, I would highly suggest to do it either during or right after so that you remember all the details. You're going to fill out this movie review pre-writing. So you're going to start with the introduction, just giving us some basic information, the title, the director, the genre, the setting of the film, and a basic plot overview. Now, remember, you do not want to give away the entire plot here, so you can just give us some basic ideas. It says right here in the directions, you do not need to put everything in complete sentences here. This is simply your brainstorming to help you when you go to write. Then from there, you'll talk about the characters. Who are some of the important characters? Who are the actors that are playing these roles? You don't need to list all of them, but the main characters would probably be important to discuss. And then the evaluation of the characterization. So what are some of the important moments for these characters? Is the person playing the character well suited for the role based on things that you maybe know that they've played in the past? And if you don't know any of their roles in the past, maybe you want to see what this particular actor or actress has played in the past to get an idea of what types of films they normally do. Then moving on to the filming. It says to circle which of the following you'll analyze, but obviously you can't do that. So you can either draw a text box around one of these or highlight it and think about what really influenced you as you were watching the film? Was it the music or the sound effects? Was it the way that the camera worked at different angles to give you a good feeling of what was happening in the film? Did the costumes really add to the film? Was the set particularly well done? Did they film on location in a particular area, or do you think it was filmed on a stage on a movie set somewhere? Did you feel like the director did an especially good job directing the particular movie, or were the special effects just outstanding so much and you want to focus on that? So here you'll select one of these and you can evaluate and describe how it was used in the film and how you think it either did a really good job or perhaps how it did a really negative job in the film. And then lastly, you'll want to discuss the theme. So thinking about theme, remembering that theme is not just one word, it needs to be at least a phrase. If you have a one-word theme, that's really just a subject. So you need to make sure that it is a full-out theme that's going to teach us a lesson or the big idea that's going on in the film. Generally, our characters in movies and novels are going to be learning some kind of lesson. So what can you pull out of that? And then how does the film develop this theme over the course of the film? How do you notice it showing up? And then how does it really culminate by the end? And then at the end, you'll want to give your personal opinion, a recommendation about what you actually thought. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mediocre? And you'll go into more detail about that when you write your review. So then next, on the next slide, what you'll see is a graphic organizer that we put together for you. This will walk you through each part of your review. And then, of course, don't forget, movie titles, when typed, should be written in italics every time you write them. So you want to try and think of a headline that includes the movie title, but don't just say, today I'm reviewing Jumanji 2. Okay, what you'll notice in many of the reviews is that they try to use a pun when they start the review. So see if you can come up with something intriguing or interesting to start out the title of your review. Then in paragraph 1, what you'll want to do is introduce the movie that you've just seen, give an opinion about it, mention a couple of details that might help the reader understand what type of movie you're talking about. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Is it a romance? Tell us what it is, okay? And then in paragraph 2, you'll want to actually summarize the plot. Where and when did it take place? Who are the main characters? What is the story about? This is making me think a lot about when we wrote our Christmas Carol essay at Derby. We talked a lot about giving those details at the front, so if the reader has never seen this particular film, they'll have a good idea of what's going on. But remember, do not include spoilers. You don't want to tell everybody how it ends if they haven't seen it. And then this is the good point where you may want to talk about your actors and actresses and discuss who did a good job and who did not. In your third paragraph, this is where you're going to actually talk about what you liked in the movie, what you didn't like. Be sure to include some specific details and scenes, and then this is where you'll also talk about that theme that you discussed in your pre-writing. And what do you think others will learn from this movie? The last paragraph is where you should wrap things up. Tell what group of people would actually like this movie. Who would you recommend it to? Who would you not recommend it to? Give us the rating on the film, and then give us your final word, your final recommendation. You can do that by giving it a score, a letter grade, a star number. Just try something better than thumbs up or thumbs down, and make sure you tell us why you gave it that particular rating. Now, we did include an area for you to write your review. However, if this is becoming too confusing, you are absolutely willing or able to write it on a piece of paper, write it on a separate Google Doc and attach it to Google Classroom. Do whatever works for you. If you even feel like you want to write it out and then record yourself and attach that as a video, do that. Do whatever works for you. We're just interested in hearing what you're watching while you're off on this particular break. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, make sure that you're emailing your teachers. Any of us would be happy to help you if you have any questions regarding this particular activity. Happy film watching. Take care, guys.